Hi everyone, this is Grammar, and our topic for today is plural sounds. You know, when we have a noun, we want to make it plural, and we add either an S or an ES. Okay, here we have it. Now, the S or the ES that we add have three different pronunciations. They could be S, they could be is, like the verb be, is, or Z. Now, how do we know when to pronounce it? How? Okay, first of all, let's take a look at this word, stamp. Now, when we have this word in singular form, stamp, you'll notice that the final sound is a P sound. So, if our word in singular is a P sound, we simply add an S, and the pronunciation of that S is S. So here the correct pronunciation is stamps. Our next word is clock. You'll notice here that the final sound is K. Once again, don't forget, this is in singular. So we add an S, and the pronunciation of that S is S. So we say clocks. Our next word is ticket. So our final sound is a T sound. We simply add an S, and the plural form is pronounced tickets. Our next word, chef. This word ends in a F sound. So once again, we simply add an S to make it plural, and the correct pronunciation is chefs. And our final sound is Th. Okay, so here we have bath in the singular form, and in plural form we add the S, and we would pronounce it baths. So these would be pronounced stamps, clocks, tickets, chefs, and baths. So here, these 5 sounds. So your magic number is going to be 5 in order for the S to be pronounced like a S sound. Now let's take a look at the is sound. Okay, same thing. We take a word in singular, such as watch, and here the final sound is a ch sound. So now we add an ES, and the correct pronunciation in the plural form is watches. Our next word is brush. Once again, this word ends in a sh sound in singular, and we add es to make it plural, and the correct pronunciation is brushes. Our next word is change. Here we have the j sound. Now, remember, it's not the final letter, it's the final sound. And this E is silent. So here, the final sound is j, change. So we already have an E, so we simply add an S, and the plural pronunciation is changes. Our next word is actress, okay? Actress, again, please remember, this is in singular form. The final sound is actress, which is a S sound. So here we add an ES, and the pronunciation is actresses. Our next word here is jazz. Final sound, okay, for the singular form is Z, so we add an ES, and the correct pronunciation in plural is jazzes. Here we also have 5 different sounds, which are going to give us the is for the plural form. So 5 is also your magic number here, okay? Now, let me just go back a little bit and let me point something else very important. If you notice, here I have 2 words and here I have 2 words. Why? I keep telling you that it's the final sound, not the final letter. Okay, so here I have a couple of examples. This word is pronounced cough. So in reality, this GH is pronounced like an F. Cough, similar to chef. So I follow the same rule. I simply add an S, and the correct pronunciation is coughs. My second example is giraffe. Even though giraffe in singular form ends in an E, the pronunciation is also an F. Once again, just like chef. So giraffe ends in an E, I simply add an S, and the correct pronunciation is giraffes. If I take a look at the is sound, I also have 2 examples for you. The first one is sentence. Once again, in singular form, the word is sentence, and even though it ends in a CE, the sound is actually a S sound, similar to actress. So, I already have an E, I just add the S, and the correct pronunciation is sentences. My second example is fix. Now, in reality, there isn't an X sound. Why? Because an X sounds like a K and an S. If I say fix, the final sound is actually a S sound. So once again, just like actress, and I'm going to add an ES. So here the pronunciation is fixes, okay? So as you can see, it's not the final letter, but rather the final sound. And our final sound is Z. Well, with Z, it's simply all the rest. If the final sound in singular form is not one of these five, then it's going to be here. And I have some examples for you. The first one is car. Remember, in singular form, car, the final sound is a is not here, is not here, so it goes here. And for this word, I simply add an S, and my pronunciation is cars. Next example is table, okay? Table. This word ends in a L sound. L is not here, L is not here, so it's here. I simply add an S, and the correct pronunciation is tables. My last example is board. Final sound in singular form is D. D is not here, D is not here, which means it goes there. I simply add an S, and the pronunciation is boards. Okay? So, as you can see, it depends on the final sound in singular form, not the final letter. So, remember, your magic numbers, 5 for the S sound, 5 for the IS sound, and simply all the rest. Now, one more thing before we go. If you notice, all of these words here, I simply add an S. So, some of these words will just have an S. If they already end in an E, you add an S, but we simply add an S. These words here, all of these are going to end in ES. If I don't have any already, I add ES. So ES, ES, I already have the E, there's your S. ES, 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 and ES. So, as a general rule, if the pronunciation is, the spelling in the plural form is always going to be ES. And with the Z sound, I simply add an S. If there's already an E, it doesn't matter. Okay? So, as you can see, plural sounds of nouns is not a complicated topic. It's all about practice. So go out there and practice. And remember, English is easy peasy, super breezy.